Hey, what's up, everybody? You're in the reaction room with Rese.
Today's recap is Season 1, Episode 177 and 178.
But before we get into it, I need a favor. Check out my playlist, and if you like my recaps, subscribe to my channel. Now let's see what's happening beyond the gates. We start off at the country club. Vernon and Martin talk about his political career. Vernon tells Martin he seems like he's lost his fight. He says, if you don't get your head back in the game, the midterms are going to whip your butt worse than I did on the court. Tyrell asks Smitty if he can have Jessica over for Thanksgiving. Smitty said he'll have to talk it over with Martin. He's worried that Tyrell and Jessica are moving too fast, too soon. Carlton comes to Nicole's office, and after he showers her with compliments, he asks her to be his date for Winterfest. At Orphy Jean's, Anita and Laura talk about Nicole's presentation at Winterfest, and Laura leaves to go work on Nicole's slideshow. And then here comes Leslie, and once again, she starts trying to intimidate Laura. Tyrell tells Smitty he's seriously considering UCLA. Smitty says, you've been talking about Banneker since middle school. And then Samantha tells Smitty that's where Jessica is planning to go. Anita tells Leslie, listen very carefully, because I'm not going to repeat myself. Laura is family. Do not trifle with her again. Nicole agrees to go with Carlton to Winterfest, but only as friends. She says, I need that to be clear. And Carlton says, that's more than enough for me. Vernon tells Martin he's hearing from National Committee insiders that he will probably face a primary challenger. And Martin says he'll be ready for the campaign. And then Vernon tells him, make sure your family is ready. Tyrell tells Smitty Jessica isn't just some girl. He says, she really gets me, and he's afraid he's going to lose her to some guy in California. Leslie gives Anita the addressed invitations, and she asks her, what does she want her to do next? Anita tells her, I won't be needing any more help from you. And Leslie starts trying to throw out hints about Vernon and Sharon, but then she gets a call from the hospital. Smitty tells Tyrell, if something is real, it can't be broken. And if it doesn't survive, then it wasn't meant to be. He says, whatever you choose to do, make sure the decision is for you and no one else. Back at Orphy Jean's, Eva walks in looking for Leslie, and she apologizes for what Leslie did to Nicole and Ted. Anita tells her she's just collateral damage of Leslie's actions. When Martin comes home, he gets upset about Tyrell considering UCLA because of Jessica. And Smitty tells him, let's just wait and cross that bridge when we get to it. At the hospital, Laura runs into Leslie again. But this time, Laura stands up to her. She says, I'm done being afraid of you. And then Nicole catches Leslie trying to play mind games with Laura. Martin tells Smitty what Vernon told him, and he asks him if he's ready for this campaign. And Smitty says, I'm always going to support you as long as you put family first. Leslie runs into Carlton, and she says she thinks they could be friends because they have something in common. Carlton asks her, what would that be? And she says, we both want to make sure Nicole and Ted never get back together. Anita tells Eva that she has some sympathy for Leslie, raising a child without a man to lean on, because Vernon has been pretty close to perfect. Meanwhile, Vernon is on the phone with Sharon. He says, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, because the last time was one for the record books. Danny is back from her honeymoon, and she meets with Nicole and Anita. They want to know about the photo shoot, and she tells them she canceled it. She says she put her marriage first. Bill asks Tomas to fill in for him when he goes on vacation, and he tells him in order to make partner, he needs a little more experience, and he wants him to be more stable and more family-oriented. Over at the police station, the chief says arrests are down 5% from last year, and Jacob tells Malone he could retire on a high by bringing some longtime perps to justice, and Leslie's name comes up. Ted comes over to ask Kat to spend Thanksgiving with him, but he wants to include Eva. But Kat is not having it. She says, "Everyone calls me selfish, but you're asking me to ignore my feelings just so you can have the Thanksgiving you want." Nicole tells Danny she thought she wasn't going to let her career take a back seat to a man this time. And Danny says she just wants to be the one in charge of her life. Kat tells Ted he can have a relationship with Eva, but she can't. She says, "I'm choosing myself. I won't subject myself to Thanksgiving with Eva." Jacob tries to talk to the chief about Isaiah, but he's upset that Isaiah turned down his mother's invitation to Thanksgiving dinner. And Jacob tells him that he and Naomi will be there, and maybe Isaiah will change his mind. Isaiah and Eva meet up at this new spot, and he's laying it on pretty thick. And then Ted comes over and starts acting all overprotective, and he asks Eva to have Thanksgiving dinner with him, but she turns him down to spend time with Leslie. Anita tells Danny it seems like she and Andre are building something really special, and Danny says, "To my surprise, I've fallen in love with him." Malone runs into Leslie at Uptown, and he starts flirting with her. And then she recognizes him. She says, "You're a cop." And he says, "You have a problem with that?" Kat runs into Nicole at the country club, and she tells her what happened with Ted. Of course, Nicole thinks it's a great idea. And of course, Kat is not trying to hear it. Malone tells Leslie about his boat, and he hopes that his wife doesn't try to take it in the divorce. And then Leslie lets him know that she's single. Jacob invites Isaiah to have Thanksgiving with the Duprees. Nicole comes back to the table, and she tells Danny and Anita what happened with Kat and Ted. And Danny can see things from Kat's point of view, but not Nicole. She is getting on my nerves. Isaiah comes back to the table with Eva, and they make plans for after Thanksgiving. So Kat tells Tomas about the situation with Ted, and he invites her to spend Thanksgiving with him in Chesapeake Bay. Ted asks Leslie if he can join her and Eva for Thanksgiving.
Leslie said they're going to Orphan Jeans, and Ted says, "Dinner is on me." And that's what happened on episode 177 and 178.
Hey, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to check out my playlist, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will talk to you in the next one, okay? Bye.